Okay, so I'm going to tell you the story of how I went to Toronto for Pride, matched with a girl on a dating app, barely texted her, accidentally got stranded in her city a month later, and somehow ended up in a long distance relationship with her for 4 years. 4 years! The universe was very loud about this one. This is our origin story. So, a little context. I'm from Edmonton, and if you know anything about Edmonton, you know that Pride here is lovely, but Toronto Pride is a whole different level. So, I planned a trip, packed my bags, and did what every queer person does when they're traveling somewhere new. I set my dating app location to Toronto before I even got on the plane. Very strategic, very chaotic, very me. So I'm swiping through Toronto profiles from my Edmonton apartment, fully planning to just have a fun pride trip, meet some people, make some memories, low stakes, no pressure, just vibes. And then I matched with her. We exchanged maybe a handful of messages, nothing major, no long conversations, no FaceTime, no hours of texting, just a match that kind of sat there while I finished packing for my trip. Honestly, if you told me then that this person would still be in my life 4 years later, I would have laughed at you. I got to Toronto and it was everything. If you've never been to Toronto Pride, it's loud and colorful and overwhelming in the best possible way. There are queer people everywhere you look, and for a few days it just feels like the whole world is yours. But before any of that, we met one on one first, just the two of us. And I want to talk about that because I think it matters. There was no crowd to hide behind, no party energy to fill the silence, just two people actually meeting each other for the first time and figuring out if what the app suggested was real. And it was so easy, annoyingly, suspiciously easy. Like, why does this feel like I already know you? Easy. There's this thing about the way she looks at me that I still can't fully put into words. It's like she actually sees me, all of me, and she's not scared of any of it. And then after that, we went to a pride party together, which honestly, after already meeting, felt like the most natural thing in the world. We went from two strangers who barely texted to showing up to pride together like it was already obvious. It just clicked. The kind of click that feels easy and obvious and a little bit scary all at once. And then Pride ended, and I had to go home to Edmonton, and she stayed where she was. And here's where my brain and my heart had a very loud argument. Brain said, "You met at Pride. It was a pride trip. This is not meant to be a whole thing. You live in completely different cities. Be realistic," Heart said. But did you see the way she looked at you, though? Brain had absolutely nothing to say to that. So I went back to Edmonton. We kept talking. And I tried very hard to be logical about the whole thing. I really did. About a month after Toronto, I was in Montreal. Another trip, different adventure, beautiful city. And when it was time to come home, I had a connection flight through Toronto. Now, I want you to understand, I was just trying to get home to Edmonton. That was the whole plan. Get on the plane, connect in Toronto, go home. My connection flight to Edmonton got canceled. I was stuck in Toronto for a night. Now, I don't want to be dramatic about this, but I do want to say, if that is not the universe grabbing you by the shoulders and saying, "Stay," I don't know what is. I texted her. She lived there. And suddenly a canceled flight turned into an unexpected visit, and honestly one of the best unplanned night I've had. We got more time together that nobody planned for, and something about that felt significant, like, okay, the universe is being very loud right now and I should probably listen. A few months after that, she came to visit me in Edmonton, and this time it was my city, my streets, my favorite spots. I got to show her my world. There's something different about someone coming to your city, your home. It felt more real somehow, more permanent, like she was stepping into my actual life, not just a trip or a detour or a canceled flight. And that visit is when we made it official. After Pride in Toronto, after a canceled flight that stranded me in her city, after months of figuring out what we were, we finally just said it. We're doing this. Officially. Long distance and all. I was nervous. I was excited. I kept thinking, what are we doing? This is complicated. There's no roadmap for this. But then she looked at me in that way. She looks at me and I thought, yeah, okay, we're doing this. That was 4 years ago. 4 years of long distance, 4 years of airport goodbyes and countdown timers, and FaceTime calls that freeze at the absolute worst moments. 4 years of choosing each other from different cities with no clear end date and doing it anyway. And in those 4 years, we've also managed to travel to 4 different countries together, which is something I love about us. We don't just do long distance, we use the distance as an excuse to meet somewhere new. Different country, different time zone, same girl looking at me like that. There's something about traveling with someone that tells you everything you need to know about them. And 4 countries in, I can tell you, she's exactly who I thought she was, every single time. Long distance is hard. I'm not going to dress it up. There are nights where missing someone feels like something heavy sitting on your chest, and there's nothing you can do except wait for the next visit. But there's something that happens when you have to choose each other intentionally every single day. Nothing is on autopilot. Every conversation matters. Every visit is something you look forward to for weeks. Every I love you carries actual weight because you both know what this costs. I started this channel because I wanted to document this life honestly. The queer long distance relationship that started at Toronto Pride, got a nudge from a canceled flight, became official in an Edmonton fall, survived 4 years, and explored 4 countries together. The gym sessions that are really just missing her with weights involved, the solo meals you learn to make beautiful because she deserves to hear about them on FaceTime, the Edmonton winters that are easier because someone is always on the other end of the phone. If any of that sounds like your life, or if you just want to watch this queer stick figure's life story unfold, subscribe because we're just getting started.